Am I really that much to handle? Breaking these niggas down like a camel. You don't really know you are.
Hey guys, welcome if you're new and welcome back to my channel if you're maybe. Anyway, so today's video is going to be another rant diaries. We're going to be discussing this disturbing topic that one of the, I don't know what he is really, but he was talking about, I think he's a senator or something like that. I'm not really sure, but he's part of the Republican Party. He was talking about how younger boys have a lower spam count than a man in his 60s. And it's like, to me, it's like, bro, of course they do, because they're literally teenagers. Their testosterone level needs to build up as they get older, and they decrease as they get older. As they get in their older age, like in their 60s, it's gonna decrease because, you know what I'm saying, their body's deteriorating, basically. You know what I'm saying? So like, that makes sense why that's happening. But he's saying that's a problem, and then he tried to like add on that the reason why the fertility rates are so low is because the younger man cannot procreate with the younger girls, and that it's because it's caused by circumcision. Like, boys getting circumcised is the reason why they have such a low spam count. And I'm like, I honestly, I sat there and I was just so confused. Like, what do you mean, bro? Like, what does that even mean? It didn't make sense to me. I was just confused. I honestly got irritated, and then I scrolled away. But then I saw more clips after the one I'm about to show you guys. I started to see more and more clips about that, and I was just like, oh, he's serious. And he was so serious. And it's like, why as an old man are you focused on children's reproductive system? Like, why are you focused on? Why are you thinking about that? Why is that even in your mind? Birth rates dropping and fertility rates dropping has nothing to do with the younger generation, the new upcoming kids. And then I think I made a video, if you guys remember seeing my other video, I was talking about how they're trying to bring down legal age to 14 it's at 18 right now, but they're trying to bring it down to 14. And people were talking about how basically they're just trying to put kids in jail cells. You know what I'm saying? That's what they're trying to do, and make it where PDF files can take advantage of younger girls and not be sentenced to a harsh sentence, you know? So I'm just like, and it's the same guy who was talking about that too. That's the crazy thing. That's the same dude. And he's back at it. It's like, why do you think about kids so much? Like, in not even in a good way. Like, why are they always on your mind? Why are you always thinking about them? And it's just so disturbing to me. And other people felt the same way too. And I just don't understand it, honestly. Maybe you guys know more about that, but I was disgusted, and I wanted to talk to you guys about it because I want to hear your guys' point of view and what you think about the subject, because that to me is disturbing. When I'm thinking about myself and my siblings, their safety and their education, how they're doing. And me being a teacher, I'm focused on improving my students' reading skills and how, you know, their mental health. That's my focus. I'm not thinking about their reproductive system. So for someone to be thinking about that, it's just like a little bit, like, not even a little bit, a lot of it disturbing to me. But I'm gonna stop yapping because I don't want to make this video longer than it needs to be. But we're gonna go ahead and hop into this next clip, and I'll be back and talk to you guys, okay?
Today, the average teenager in this country has 50% of the sperm count, 50% of the testosterone as a 65-year-old man. Our girls are hitting puberty 6 years earlier, and that's bad. But also, our parents aren't having children. Parents who want to have children do not have access. I have 7 children. I feel that God has blessed me with that, and I can't imagine how different my life would be if I did not have that blessing.
So that was the first clip I saw, and I was just like, I mean, I did leave out the part where he said that autism is connected to circumcision. So circumcising the boys is how some boys get I can't even say it. Like, I'm so irritated. He said circumcision causes autism. And they also did say that Tylenol causes autism. Like, they don't make sense. They do not make sense. Someone else did have their own take on this. I'm gonna let you guys watch that, because that was the clip I first saw, and I was just like, ain't no way. So I scrolled, and then I saw this clip next.
Fertility rates that are just spiraling. A teenager today, an American teenager, has less testosterone than a 68-year-old man. Sperm counts are down 50%.
Wait, an American teenager has less testosterone than a 60-year-old man?
That's right, because the testosterone levels have dropped 50% from historic levels. And, and that is a problem. And it's an existential problem.
That's not true. Sperm counts decline as you get older. It's not true that teenagers have lower sperm counts compared to older adults. It is concerning, though, that sperm counts have been declining over the last several decades, and there's multiple reasons why this may be in terms of environmental exposures and lifestyle factors that are at play, but it's bringing up a larger issue about some of the concerns that the Health and Human Services Secretary is talking about, which is fertility, but it's hard to address this when we have already got some of the agencies that track.
As you saw, the doctor debunked whatever he was talking about. Thankfully, I saw that clip, and I was just like, so I was right. That's impossible. If the spam counts are lower than how they used to be, that's just, have you seen what's inside the foods? What they're feeding the kids at school? Not a lot of kids are active these days. A lot of the kids are on Roblox. There's a lot of there's a rise of iPad kids, even with pets these days. Some people's pets are watching shows and stuff, and a lot of people are just throwing iPads at their kids. So if the kids are always inside the house, they're never really outside, they're not really exercising and everything and building up like energy, staying healthy. Of course there's gonna be a rise of spam count decreasing. It just makes sense. Back in the day when I feel so old, but back in the day when I was little, we were always outside. We barely watched TV. We were always outside trying to play with our neighborhood kids. So we were never really inside. So that just makes sense why there's, and we're always burning a lot of calories, and keeping our bodies healthy. Whereas nowadays, kids are just in front of the screen, either playing video games. And since he's talking about teenagers, most teenage boys are playing video games now, or they're trying to be streamers, or they're scrolling through TikTok. They're not outside. There's nobody outside right now. Even with adults, women are not going to the clubs as much anymore because the club scene is gone. Men are becoming the new baddies, so women don't want to be there no more because the men will go on the stadium and they wouldn't even dance. They'll just stand there staring at the girls. Whereas before, when girls used to go up there, they would be dancing and having a good time, making the party even better. So the club scene is gone now. It's no longer fun anymore. So if adults are not going out anymore, kids are inside the house. Everyone's just in their homes, which is safer in my opinion, and no one's actually having their kids do workouts in the house. Why? Are we surprised? Are we shocked? I'm not shocked. Are you shocked? Because I'm not. So that makes sense to me. But as they get older, it will increase because a lot of teenage boys, once they get to like 17, they start wanting to go to the gym and work out and want to be buff. So it'll increase on its own naturally. That's how I see it. So I'm just like, there's nothing to worry about. I just think they're just trying to say, well, this is why the older men should take care of the girls so that the population can grow. Once again, trying to make a way for pedophiles to take advantage of little girls. That's why it's scary. They're not, because in society they see boys as kids. They see girls, once they hit puberty, they're not seen as little girls no more. They're not seen as kids anymore. They are seen as they're seen as a vessel to procreate. That's just the truth, and it's sick, but that's the truth. So the law being legal age of for a child is 18 is saving a lot of these girls. That law is saving the girls. It's not really saving. There's boys who get taken advantage of too, but it's more girls who get taken advantage than boys from what I've seen. But I don't know, correct me if I'm wrong, but I feel like older predators are mostly go after the younger girls than they do, men. But there are some case studies showing that there are women who are taking advantage of their male students. So, it goes hand in hand. That helps the children. That is helping children. If you care about children so much and you're like, oh, I feel so blessed that I was blessed with 7 kids. Well, you as a father should know and want that your kids are safe. So age of consent being 17 in certain states and 16 in certain states, but the legal age being 18 is a blessing in so many ways. It's protecting so many kids. But I'm gonna have you guys go ahead and watch this next clip. But this girl goes more in depth in it. But that's how I feel. But let's go ahead and watch this real quick. Get on to it.
RFK Jr. just came out and spoke on the declining fertility of teenage boys and the increasing fertility of teenage girls. Now, I'm going to show you a clip of exactly what he said. Then we're going to come back here and I'm going to break some things down for you. Because I know normally I come to you guys with kind of like a little sassiness and some jokes, but the numbers that I am about to bring you are so incredibly important. I really need to make sure that you guys hear me, because I don't know if people understand just how fully terrifying what he said is.
The average teenager in this country has 50% of the sperm count, 50% of the testosterone as a 65-year-old man. Our girls are hitting puberty 6 years earlier. And that's bad, but also our parents aren't having children. Parents who want to have children do not have access. I have 7 children. I feel that God has blessed me with that, and I can't imagine how different my life would be if I did not have that blessing.
Now, I'm about to give you some real numbers in hopes that fewer people get lost in veiled speech. When it comes to the puberty ages of girls, the average age of starting puberty is between the ages of 11 to 13 years old. Now, please keep in mind that there is a difference between the first signs of puberty and the first menstruation that a woman goes through if she's born with a uterus and able to menstruate. We are currently in 2025. Even if we go back to the 90s, first signs of puberty, so we're talking about things like developing breast tissue and the like, first signs of puberty, even in the 90s, was an average of 8 years old. So when RFK says girls are starting puberty 6 years earlier in 2025, that brings that age down to 2 years old. Girls as young as 2 years old first developing signs of puberty. If we are talking about first menstruation, that also actually hasn't changed that much between the 90s to 2025. You are still looking at averaging around the age of 10 years old, with that age span of like 10 to 13 years old, generally speaking, for a girl to get her first period. So even if we split the difference and go with 11 years old, RFK is saying, if he's talking about first period versus first actual signs of puberty, that would be 5 years old. 6 years earlier would mean they would be starting their periods at 5 years old. Now remember, in that clip, he opened it up by saying that teenage boys have half the testosterone, half the sperm count of a man in his 60s in 2025, right? So lower fertility, whereas the girls are becoming fertile and hitting puberty and able to reproduce 6 years younger. The slick language there is that girls are becoming more fertile younger, but the teenage boys, their age equivalents, they don't have what it takes to get them pregnant in comparison to grown men. Follow the dots of veiled language. If girls, in his view, are hitting puberty and able to reproduce younger, but boys, their age, don't have the testosterone and the sperm count to father children with them, and grown men are the ones that have kept their sperm counts high, who are having children with these little girls in order to keep having kids, right? Because he goes on to say, well, parents that, or people that want to be parents, are finding themselves incapable of having kids, while these children, these incredibly young children, are becoming able to birth children earlier and earlier, younger and younger. Please follow the veiled language. This is not the time to say, well, that can't possibly be what he means. This is not the time to say, that could never possibly happen. I am begging you to look around. Look around at what is happening, and to stop saying this could never happen, because you are neck deep in all the things people have been saying could never possibly happen, or that people could never possibly mean. If you do not care about adult women and their access to birth control or abortion or female health or anything like that, even if you say, you know what, they got themselves in this mess, they shouldn't be able to get themselves out of it, even if that's your stance, I am begging you to please think of your baby girls. Think of your tiny daughters. Think of what this man is cracking the door open to with his veiled speech that is going to go over a ton of people's heads, because the average literacy rate and comprehension rate is that of a grade 6 student. They are banking on that. They are banking on the it's not that deep generation to not deconstruct the language. I know by this time that man's gotta, if he knew who I was, he must hate to see me coming. I am begging you to watch it, and then watch it again, and then watch it again, and pay attention, and please, please, please protect your little girls. Protect your little girls. I am not trying to spread alarmist fear, and I am not trying to spread alarmist rhetoric. They are coming for your daughters. And I have been saying this all goddamn year. And the things I say are going to happen, keep happening. Please, pay attention. This man is dangerous. Protect your goddamn daughters.
As you saw, this is urgent. We cannot be sitting around let this happen. We can't just let it happen, right? It's true. girls are having their menstrual cycle earlier. I think I was 11 when I had mine, TMI. But with my sisters, the younger ones, one of them had it at 10. That shocked me. So what she said is true. They are having their menstrual cycles earlier. I think I have had some people talk about how their child is growing at age 8, at the earliest 8 years old. You know, so it is scary. I just, as soon as that happened, I started panicking. I know how my mom was with me when I had mine, and I was in 6th grade, going on 7th grade when mine came along, and I remember she was like panicking because she was like thinking I would get myself, impregnated. And the crazy thing that happened was I had my menstrual cycle, right? It was like March 23rd, 2011, right? And after a week long of having my menstrual cycle went away. It did not come back for 4 whole months. So my mom started naming out which kids in the neighborhood could be the father. It's not funny. She started naming all the potential fathers, because I was always hanging out with some of my male cousins and their friends all the time, playing soccer and stuff, because I was a tomboy. I still low-key am, to be honest. I'm not gonna lie. So I remember the panic and anxiety I felt that time, and I just didn't want my siblings to experience that. So I was like panicking for them, praying that they'll get theirs when they're 12 years old. You know what I'm saying? But that's not what happened. One got it at 10, one got it at 11. But I remember how terrified I was. I remember taking my first ever pregnancy test at 11.
What?
My mom had me take a pregnancy test. It's not funny. This is how I cope with my trauma. She had me take a pregnancy test at 11 years old. Well, of course it came out negative, because I was thinking about sports. I wasn't thinking about the dudes. I mean, I had little crushes here and there, but I wasn't thinking about doing anything inappropriate, like that matter. I mean, some girls during my age were doing stuff, but I wasn't that type of girl. But I remember feeling that fear and that anxiety, and my mom doing the most to see if something was going on. She even checked to see if I was still a virgin. Like, I'm not even I'm not exaggerating. I'm so serious. So, and yeah, I didn't want my siblings to go through that. And seeing that the new generation is like, and then now the government is trying to imply that they think the older men should, like, basically what he's saying is it should be okay for older men to take advantage of little girls, grooming them, whether it be grooming, raping, whatever it may be, because by the time they get to a certain age, they can't have. I don't really know. I honestly tried to comprehend what he was talking about or what he's implying, but I know when I watched that clip that I just showed you guys, the girl is saying that he's basically trying to open the door to saying it should be a law to allow women, like, how, like, have you ever watched The Handmaid's Tale? Basically that coming to fruition. They tried to target the women, the older women, so the women started to be abstinent, like myself. I am out. Next August will be 2 years of me not doing anything. But older women decided, you know what? You want to get rid of our resources? Then bet. We're not going to be sleeping with any of these men, right? So I'm like, okay, boom. So they realized they can't attack older women, because women, like, they're going to take it. They're going, you know what I'm saying? I mean, still women are having kids, but, like, majority are not having kids. That's why the birth rate is so low. That being said, now they're targeting the little girls. Helpless little girls. And I'm not even lying to you, that pissed me off. That made me so mad. I literally had a bad day that day. I was upset the whole day. I started panicking, and I know she wasn't trying to throw in fear, but it's like I was already having fearful thoughts when they said they were going to bring the legal age to 14. And now he's implying that predators should be able to take advantage of their victims and get lesser sentence, basically, because he said the legal age will be 14, right? Y'all go ahead and watch this next clip while I cool myself down because I'm pissed.
Average teenager in this country has 50% of the sperm count, 50% of the testosterone as a 65-year-old man. Our girls are hitting puberty 6 years earlier. And that's bad, but also our parents aren't having children. Parents who want to have children do not have access. I have 7 children. I feel that God has blessed me with that, and I can't imagine how different my life would be if I did not have that blessing.
Shit just got real Gilead up in here, and we need to talk about it, like, right now, because what do you mean? RFK Jr. just got on a global stage to talk about the declining sperm rate of teenage boys and how little girls are developing sooner. Do you see it? Are you connecting the dots yet? Let me help you out. Fact. AB's been banned in over a third of the states in this country. Also fact, our federal government is trying to get rid of mifepristone, which is essentially a national ban. And now we have a federal cabinet member talking about how adults can't conceive, but noting that teenagers are developing earlier. Do you see it? This is Fertility Panic 101. First, create a crisis. Adults can't have babies. Then note early development, but teenagers, they're developing sooner. Then remove all exit opportunities like AB and chemical AB. And then you wait for it to reach its inevitable conclusion, because they're not going to just come right out and say we want teenagers and little girls giving birth. No, what they're going to do is create a system in which that is the only thing that can happen. No, like literally, removing access to AB and birth control, creating a panic around fertility, convincing people, normalizing this idea that they're developing sooner, therefore they're somehow ready, and then remove every other way out. This is how reproductive control works. It was never going to be explicit mandates. We told you that. It's about creating conditions where teenage and young pregnancy is the path of least resistance. We're watching this blueprint unfold in real time. If they cared about fertility, they would fund IVF. They would improve maternal care. They would support parents. But they don't, because instead they're removing options and creating panic. And it's our little girls and our teenagers who are going to pay the ultimate price.
It's honestly sickening. Did you see that? And then Trump, annoying, ugly ass, right next to him, just... I wish I could just punch that man in the face, man. I would... If I could get in a ring with Trump... Let me stop. Before they tell me I'm committing treason. Let me stop. Okay. But, as you guys saw, he's trying to open the gateway for women, younger girls, to get mistreated, taken advantage of, abused. You know what I'm saying? I just pray for the next generation of women. I'm so happy that girls are my generation is working very hard to prevent that, trying our best to prevent that from happening, and teaching our girls, like, you know, be careful. And like they do want teenage pregnancies to increase. They want that 100%, because it's decreased by the hundreds. Because like in 2000s, they had a really high rate of teenage pregnancies. Watching 16 and Pregnant freaked me out. I mean, my mom freaked me out on her own, but watching that was like, no. I saw how they were struggling and how the teenage boys just ran away, basically living their best life, while the girl was stuck with the child. It's like that even as an adult. We're always stuck with the child. Do you want a child? You know what I'm saying? Like, you don't want that. You want to be able to focus on your grades, your school, and graduate. And that's what I told myself as a teenager. I said to myself, I don't want to not be able to get a good job because I don't have a high school diploma. I was able to get the jobs that I've gotten because I had a high school diploma. Does that make sense? Without a high school diploma, you can't provide for that child. You would be stuck working at McDonald's or some fast food restaurant for the rest of your life. You don't want that. You will be literally creating extreme poverty for your child. You don't want that. You can't even go to college unless you have a GED or a diploma. You don't want that. You want to be able to go to college. So I always tell my siblings that, you know, you can't control what kids end up doing with their life, teenagers do with their life as they get older. All you can do is support them and, you know, hope they would learn from that mistake. I mean, a child, yes, it's not a mistake, but like, let's be honest, like, that is not the child itself, it's a mistake, but the situation itself is a mistake. Does that make sense? You just got to be very careful with yourself and keep in mind that there's a chance that the father might run away. Same thing as an adult. I just pray for the next generation, guys. Like, pray with me. Let's pray that things get better. And we have a terrible president, one. And RFK is, I feel like allegedly, I feel like the president is like saying speeches for people to say, or telling people what type of things to discuss, and then he's just standing there like it's not his idea. I mean, wasn't he the guy that said grab her by the pum pum? His whole campaign for 2016 was grab her by the pum pum. You should have known by then he don't give females. He even said it. He even said his own daughter was attractive, and if he was young, he would date his daughter. Like, literally, like, what? I don't understand MAGAs, because that man literally said he would do something to his own daughter. I pray for that girl. But yeah, guys, I don't know, man. I don't know. This is getting. What is that one guy always says? Shit's getting weird. Part infinity. Okay. It's not funny, but whenever I see him say that, I just crack up. But yeah, I don't even know what more to say. I just, please take care of your daughters. Maintain them. Try your best to give them the safe space to speak to you. You know, I give my siblings, my younger sisters, because I have 3 younger sisters. I have 5 younger sisters. No. 6 younger sisters. They're all younger than me. 2 are grown. 3 are grown adults. 2 are grown adults. 1 is 19, but she's, you know, she's still under my roof, so I have to make sure I give her as much advice as I can. And then I have two other girls who are younger, and then a little 2-year-old. So I try my best to give them a safe space to talk to me about things that's bothering them, their love life, all that stuff, so that, you know, they can confide in me if something crazy does happen, and we can take care of that. If there's a slip up in the future, we can go get a plan B. I will pay for that. And if they want a smortion, I'll pay for that. What? No. But like, that being said, I just feel like, give your girls a safe space to speak to you. Whether you're a single dad, a single mom, or a 2-parent household, give your kids a safe space. Same with the sons. I try my best to give my brother a safe space to talk to me about his feelings, what's hurting him, what's bothering him. Because just because he's not a girl doesn't mean he doesn't have emotions. Doesn't mean that I should throw him in the back burner, because he might have issues in the future when it comes to dating, or, you know, let's say oh, I got a girl pregnant, but I don't have the money to pay for her abortion. Hey, here's the money. Here's the dang money. If she don't have insurance, here's the money. You know what I'm saying? I want to be there for my siblings, and I want to be a shoulder for them to cry on, a hand for them to hold when they're feeling lost, a good safe heaven and guidance, you know. So I just employ you guys to do the same for your siblings or children. I don't have kids right now, but if I did have a son or a daughter, I would treat them the same way I treat my kids, my siblings. To me, they're my kids, because I'm the second parent. I go to parent-teacher conference, everything. So just keep an eye on your kids. Check up on their mental health once a week. If you're too busy, once a week isn't more than enough. And see how they're doing. Like, how was school? How do you feel? I do the same with my students. Asking them how their school day was. One of my students was telling me that how he has no friends, and he wants friends, and, you know, and he feels like he's just a weirdo. And I'm like, you're not weird. You just have the more mental capacity than kids your age group. And with that being said, sometimes you gotta take the initiative to, you know, if you're interested in being friends with somebody, you gotta take the initiative and introduce yourself. And sometimes you gotta do that. I mean, I had to do that as a kid. Sometimes I had to approach people, because people they're not mind readers, you know. So that being said, this is the end of this video. Thank you guys so much for watching. I will see you guys in my next video. Bye.
Age is just another thing on your driver's license.
How do you feel about that, Nicole? Do you have an I feel statement?
I feel like he wants to fuck children.
Am I really that